Therapy Talks with Taylor is a series dedicated to educating, inspiring, and uplifting others on different topics related to mental health. This series is designed to be transparent, authentic, and provide a safe space to discuss different topics. And I am your host, Taylor Preche, multi passionate entrepreneur. I am a registered mental health counselor intern in the state of Florida, proud owner of a Change Within, providing therapy services to individuals, couples, and families. I provide mental health workshops to local organizations and programs to educate others about mental health topics. Host of this here series, Therapy Talks with Taylor, on YouTube and different podcast sites. And additionally, I create mental health resources and apparel to create awareness and develop coping skills outside of the session. So come along and join in on today's topic. All right, y'all, get ready. The holiday season is happening. It is amongst us. We're into, I feel like I was thrown off guard that we're already at the end of the year. And with the ending of the year, there's a lot of feelings that come up for many people, particularly because we're in the society with the notion that the holiday season from mid October to about January time is for family going back home or traveling with loved ones. And it can bring up some, emotions for people depending on how their family dynamics look like. Some people may not be in a place where they can go back home or where they do have the most positive relationships with their family. And just in general, it could leave some or trigger some emotions based on past experiences. And sometimes when we have this feeling of, I have to visit family, that may trigger a lot of things in people. Whether you are an individual who is no longer connected with your family, either through natural causes or by choice, and now we're getting ads and conversations at work or amongst other friends, or what are you doing for the holidays? What are you doing for your with your family? And you might feel like overwhelmed and sad and alone because you don't necessarily have a family to go to. Or if you're a person who they do have a family, you're kind of forced and obligated to go to, but it is definitely not fun times at the table. Lots of arguments, lots of uncomfortability. How do you protect yourself? So here's some things and tips I suggest to clients in either situation to move forward and to be able to cope with the holiday season. So, first things first is knowing a safe space. Whether it is in your own home or if you're traveling to a different place for the holiday seasons, you find that safe space. And this safe space is an area where you can go if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you have a high wave of emotions. And it could look like a park, a room, say like your bedroom or, the office, or if it is a certain area of the house or outside of the house. But determining that safe space wherever you are is vital, it's important. Once you find that safe space, then it becomes the act of processing and coping. So it's a two for one kind of thing in order to deal with the emotionality. So the first part is processing. So we have to be able to process the emotion that occurs in that moment, processing and identifying what's going on. So I always suggest an emotions wheel to kind of identify what is the emotion I'm feeling in this moment. That could be anger, that could be sadness, hurt, isolation, abandonment. And so we're processing by allowing that emotion to sit at the surface for us to deal with it in that space. And again, we're dealing with it in our safety zone, our safe space. Again, we already identified that it's a park, a room, a place, somewhere where you can safely process emotions. And so once we bring that emotion, say, for example, it's hurt because we're either hurt by a particular family member or we don't have our family members here. We identify that emotion in our safe space, and then we justify it by saying, I'm hurt because one, two, three, A, B, C. We kind of do some self-reflection there. Now that we have processed it, we deal with our coping to kind of say, okay, I have identified the emotion. I identify why I have the emotion. I'm releasing it out in some form of coping. And that could be through positive movement, like if you go to the gym or you like to dance, you like to do, you know, any kind of activity. It could be through journaling if you like to write out your feelings, write out your thoughts. It could be through creative expression, through art or sculpting. It could be on a walk. You're taking whatever your emotion you felt, you identify your experience, and releasing it from your body. So that the art of coping and processing is very vital when we have our emotions that come up and are triggered during the holiday time. And for those, for example, I get questions of, okay, what if I have family? I'm obligated to spend time with them, but I'm triggered in the moment, Taylor. What do I do? Well, we kind of have to start using the big word I say with all my clients, boundaries. It is hard. It is hard to set boundaries with anyone, but particularly so with family members. Setting boundaries with family members is difficult because it is saying that you're not repeating certain generational behaviors. You're not repeating certain things that have upset you in the past or have hurt you in the past. You are stating that this is a firm line that I will not allow anyone, regardless of your family, not to cross. So, example is we're at the dinner table, we're having conversation, something is said, and it triggers something in you. Then, in that moment, is responding, say, hey, aunt, uncle, grandpa, cousin, mom, dad, whomever, to say, hey, I'm feeling hurt by what you said. And kind of understand that that is your vocalization of the boundary, trying to communicate that to have a positive dialogue. Now, several things could happen. That family member could accept that and say, oh, I'm sorry, that was not my intent. How can I better support you? Or you can offer, hey, here's some better, ways I can be supported in this moment, or let's have some different kind of conversations. Or it could be that they'll ignore it or they will sweep it under the rug. But it's in that moment to say, okay, what are you accepting of around you? And it could be that you walk away from the conversation and respectfully say, hey, this is a conversation I'm not willing to have at this moment. And respectfully, I'm going to kind of go excuse myself from the table. I'm going to go walk outside. I'm going to go to my room or go somewhere safe to kind of collect my thoughts. And just being consistent with that, because we want to make sure that you are protected, you are safe, and your feelings are heard and valid. And it's also important to know that you don't have to engage with conversations with people who make you feel uncomfortable or who make you feel hurt or less than, or feel like your opinions don't matter, your voice doesn't matter. I think it's important to be mindful that we as people, as humans, individually, regardless of age, deserve love, deserve compassion and understanding and, feeling safe emotionally, not just about physical safety, but emotional safety. And so for this holiday season, be mindful of a few things. A, know where your safe space is, whether it is in your own home, whether it is walking in the park, whether it's a trusted best friend or sister sibling place. Find your safe space, your safety zone, where in that zone, part B, in that zone B, you're able to process any emotions that come up for you. And it's holding space for your emotions honestly and authentically. So whether it's hurt, despair, anger, irritation, frustration, loneliness, abandonment, etc. Whatever is that emotion, holding space for that in your safe zone, understanding why we're feeling that, trying to identify where this is coming from. Is this dealing with a past incident in childhood? Is this dealing with, a situational thing at, whether at work or school or certain friend groups or family groups? Or is it just the atmosphere as a whole that we maybe our life is not matching up to how we foresaw it at this time? C, ABC. So we're on C, knowing that we need coping skills. So, what are your coping skills after this? So, A, we find our safe space, our safety zone. B, we started processing the emotions of why we're experiencing. And now C, we're coping with it, we're releasing it. And so that could look like I am doing positive movement, whether it's in the gym or exercise or a routine, whether I am praying, meditating, or doing some, stretching, whether I am, doing art and sculpting and painting and drawing, whether I'm writing out my thoughts in a journal or in a book, something where I am taking the release of these emotions and these heavy feelings out of my body in a positive, constructive way. And give yourself, as I'll wrap up, grace. Grace, give yourself grace and know that it's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay to experience the things that you're experiencing. And following this, ABC method to go through those experiences, emotions will help. And hopefully it will help you this holiday season. So reach out to me if you need more tips. Follow me, subscribe for more content coming your way. Have a blessed day.